Okay, so turn to page 11 in the packet. We are going to go through page 11 through 13. And we're going to just review the quotient of powers property, which says to divide powers having the same base, use subtract the exponents. So if you have a to the m over a to the n, it becomes a to the m minus n. So 4 to the 7th over 4 to the 2nd becomes 4 to the 7 minus 2, which is 4 to the 5th. Okay, so let's go over a few of these. So 6 to the 12th over 6 to the 5th becomes 6 to the 12 minus 5, which is 6 to the 7th. Negative 2 to the 7th over negative 2 to the 4th becomes negative 2, 7 minus 4, or negative 2 cubed, which becomes negative 2 cubed, which is negative 8. Remember, we don't leave anything in parentheses. Now here we're going to do a combination of product, power, and quotient. So 4 squared times 4 to the 8th is 4 to the 10th. Over 4 to the 4th is 4 to the 10 minus 4, which is 4 to the 6th. Now that's an example of something you can just leave. I don't know what 4 to the 6th is. Next one, 1 over y to the 9th times y to the 12th becomes y to the 12th over y to the 9th, which is y to the 12 minus 9, which is y cubed. For e, this becomes x to the 8 minus 2, which is x to the 6th. Now here, when you get fractions like this, remember, numbers always do what numbers do. You do not do 9 minus 3. This is 9 over 3, which is 9 divided by 3, which is 3. This is x to the 10th over x to the 4th, which becomes x to the 10 minus 4, which is x to the 6th. Again, here, you can draw lines when you have a fraction so it doesn't look as intimidating. 16 over 8 is 2. X squared over x to the first is x to the 2 minus 1, which is x to the first. Y to the 4th over y cubed just becomes y. So I took a problem that looked a little complicated and made it into 3 really simple problems. So let's do the same thing with this one. Draw the lines. And 12 over 4 is 3. A to the 10th over a to the 5th becomes a to the 5th. B to the 4th over b third becomes b. C to the 8th over c to the 4th becomes c to the 4th. And for this one, 9 over 3 is 3. X squared, y squared, w cubed. Okay, so let's turn the page. Let's see if I can move this to do that. Okay. Okay, so on page 12, let's look at the top, and this is the power of a quotient property. So it says to find a power of a quotient, find the power of the numerator and the power of the denominator. So what that means is a over b to the m becomes a to the m over b to the m. So 4 sevenths cubed becomes 4 cubed over 7 cubed. And again, 4 cubed is 64, but 7 cubed, you don't necessarily have to know. So it's okay to leave it like that. Okay, so now r over s to the 5th becomes r to the 5th over s to the 5th. Negative 4 over w cubed becomes, not quite sure what they want us to do here. I would say let's put the negative with the 4 over w. Negative 4 cubed becomes negative 4 cubed over w cubed. And maybe there they want you to make it negative 64 over w cubed. Not quite sure what else they want there. Okay, so now let's look at the rest of these. So, number 1, negative 8 to the 8th over negative 8 to the 5th just becomes negative 8 cubed. Here, first I do 3 to the 9th over 3 cubed, and that becomes 3 to the 6th. This one, again, a negative squared, the final outcome is positive, so it's r squared over 3 squared, which would be r squared over 9. And this would be 5 to the 4th over t to the 4th. And 5 to the 4th is 625. If you don't know that, you can use a calculator. Okay, now let's look over here to these problems, which look a little more complicated. And what you're going to do is you are going to fake distribute this 3 to every single factor and quotient. So this becomes a to the 6th, b to the 9th, c to the 15th, all over x to the 9th, y to the 6th. Now this one, for number 6, we have two options. Before we distribute this, we can simplify what's inside the parentheses. And I think that's always easier. If you can simplify, simplify. So a squared over a is just a, because it's a to the 2 minus 1. This is b squared, because it's b to 3 minus 1. And this is c cubed, because it's 5 minus 2. So now I'm going to cube those. So that becomes a cubed, b to the 6th, c to the 9th. Okay, let's go to the next page. And here, so now we're going to distribute the 3 both to the numerator and the denominator. So this becomes 2 cubed y to the 21st over y to the 15th. 2 cubed is 8, and y to the 21st over y to the 15th becomes y to the 6th. So the final answer is 8y to the 6th. And now if we look at number 2 over here, notice, again, I take what could be complicated and turn it into 4 simple problems. 8 over 2 is 4. X cubed over x to the 1st is x squared. Y to the 5th over y squared is y to the 3rd. And this becomes z to the 4th. So my final answer is 4x squared y cubed z to the 4th. Okay, so now you go ahead and stop the video and do the checkpoints. And when you're done, turn the video back on and see if you have answers that agree with me. Okay, so this becomes 7. Okay, wait, before I do that, I'm going to simplify, because y cubed over y just becomes 7y squared z squared. So that becomes 7 squared, which is 49, y to the 4th z squared. Now here, first I have to take care of this. So I'm just going to rewrite 2s to the 4th all over t. 2 cubed is 8, t cubed over s cubed. Different ways you can approach this, but I'm just going to multiply across the top and multiply across the bottom. So I get 16s to the 4th, t to the 3rd. I'm going to put t to the 1st here and s cubed there. Because now I'm going to simplify. S to the 4th over s cubed is s. And t cubed over t to the 1st is t squared. So we end up with 16st squared. For number 7, I'm going to simplify inside first. So I have 6 over 3. I have m cubed over m to the 1st. And I have n squared over n to the 1st. This becomes 2m squared n. And then I cube that. So 2 cubed is 8, m to the 6th, n cubed. Now, for this one, the first thing I'm going to do is simplify what's inside the parentheses, because I have an a squared over a, which becomes 2ab cubed. And then I have to raise that to the fourth. So I copy this again. 2 to the fourth is 16, a to the fourth, b to the 12th. 4 times 16 is 64, a to the fifth, b to the 12th, all over b squared. And that I can simplify. So the final answer is 64, a to the fifth, b to the 10th. Okay, so now that we've gone through 11 to 13, I want you to complete page 19, and you can check the video that's posted on the homework board after you do page 19. Then you can work on page 20A and 20B, find the mistakes, and then you can start the homework.